I was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Do tell.
Well, the year was 2004.
These are all of your stories. The year
I know. I
was
always
a
feel
long
like I'm
time
like
ago.
back in St. Olaf.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. We are here with another episode of A Touch More.
We are fresh off Thanksgiving, so we got a little recap for you. We played Taboo. My 9-year-old niece put on a little violin concert. We also attempted the viral Dancing with the Stars leg lift challenge, however they're calling that. Megan threw down on a charcuterie board. I mean, big ups for that. That thing was beautiful. Beautiful. And the sweet potato pie was slapping like always.
Shout out to Murray's Cheese Shop on Bleecker. Wow. That is a little heaven in there.
You can actually see pictures of both if you check us out on YouTube. So go check that out. And we do have a few bickers from the holidays because, well, you know, it's the holidays.
It's the holidays.
But we're going to hit you with Are You a Megan or Are You a Sue later on, the Leftovers edition. We're also really excited to discuss the shakeup that's happening in college basketball, women's college basketball. So let's get into it.
Let's do it, Sue. Support for A Touch More comes from L'Oreal Paris. Every holiday season, you always hope that it's finally a stress-free one. One can only hope, but L'Oreal Paris is here to help. They create products to gift and to use that allow women to feel their best in any season. So no matter what the holidays hold, L'Oreal's got your back because you're worth it. Stay tuned to hear about some of our favorite L'Oreal Paris products later in the episode.
The check-in. Barbra Banda was voted BBC's Woman Footballer of the Year. She received the most votes from readers. Very quickly, she scored 13 goals for the Pride in the 2024 NWSL regular season, despite only joining in March. And she had 4 goals in the playoffs, which obviously included the game-winning goal in the championship final last week, as the Orlando Pride won its first title. But sadly, Barbra was met with a lot of online abuse, people attacking her gender. I mean, we're seeing this time and time again. Megan, what are your thoughts?
Well, God, first of all, just an absolute banner year for Barbra Banda. You know, a lot of hype coming with her, a huge price tag with her transfer fee, all of that. And she lived up to all the hype. That's not easy to do, especially when all the money was on the line. She scored in every playoff game. She scored the game-winning goal in the final. She was sensational. So to have this happen on the back of such an important year for her, such an incredible year is just, I think personally, I'm just this is so sad. And just I just feel upset for her. And I really feel for her. She seems great. Seems like all of her teammates really love her. And she's certainly been amazing for women's football. I think it's also just, well, it's just cruel and gross and just untrue. And so there's that side of it. Then I feel there's the sort of the global campaign against trans people, just as a fear-mongering that is happening, that we've talked about a number of times on this show and will continue to talk about. But basically, this is what's happening, is that the argument is, well, first of all, Barbra Banda is not trans. Barbra Banda is a woman. She was born a woman. She identifies as a woman. She's a woman. She plays women's football, and she's great at it. So there's that, first of all. The argument is that men are flooding into women's sports, and therefore we need to protect women from those men that are flooding, which is not happening at all. But since that's very clearly not happening, we're just going to attack the women who are actually playing women's sports in an effort to protect the women who are playing women's sports. And if that sounds insane and you're lost, that's because it is insane and it doesn't make sense literally at all. The fear-mongering that's happening in multiple different sports, but it's obviously happening right now in women's soccer around Barbra Banda, that men are just coming in and dominating the sports. That's literally not happening. So all we're doing is attacking women. All we're doing is attacking women.
Policing their bodies.
Policing their bodies. It's oh, so you don't look enough, quote, in quotes, look enough like a woman or present enough so it's obviously this is a slippery slope that we get into. And really the point from, the detractors or the, mostly Republicans in this country, but the J.K. Rowlings of such, is just cruelty to create confusion in people, to create doubt, and to create these allegations to what? Like, just have trans people not exist, because that's insane. And that's cruel and that's gross. And they do exist and they have a right to exist. So for me, it's just like predictable that this is happening. And so I want everyone to like pay attention and understand like what's happening. This is very purposeful, why they're doing it at this particular moment for someone who's doing amazing things and who's really shining an amazing light on women's football and the way that it's growing all over the world. And yeah, it really sucks though. Yeah, it's really sad. What are your thoughts, Sue?
The only thing I'd add is, in the name of protecting women's sports, when people use that or say that, I'm just like, well, where are you for the actual issues that are, against us? Mm-hmm. Whether it's, being held back, things we talk about on this podcast all the time, like the systems that be and how they don't allow us to grow or thrive. You haven't heard a word over the course of in my entire career that I can remember of people, coming to our defense in this way. So that always feels just disingenuous. Feels like they use this trans argument to push other ideas, to your point, fear-mongering. Another thing, just to reiterate, people have been attacking the BBC because of this, and it was actually voted on by fans, which is really just a demonstration of misinformation, how that works, how that can fuel a fire, build a fire, fuel a fire, and get people riled up. So sad to see that, but congratulations to Barbra Banda. Very, very deserving. We're going to stick with soccer, and we're going to talk about a friendly. You guys love your friendlies.
We love a friendly. We love hyping up a friendly.
I mean, it was at Wembley, and there was like 8 bajillion people there.
Yeah.
England took on the U.S. women's national team. It was a goalless draw. But it was a friendly at Wembley Stadium, ending the U.S. women's national team 9-game winning streak in the battle between the world's top 2 international teams. Megan, we watched. Well, actually, you were cleaning the house and watching, so you were doing double duty. What were your thoughts?
Listen, when a motivation strikes me to get up and clean, I have got to take advantage of it because it comes basically, once a year. Big thoughts, just initially on the game. I think it was 78, almost 80,000 people. Incredible. Incredible environment at Wembley. That stadium is just iconic and magical for so many different reasons. Notable absences on both sides. Lauren Hemp, Lauren James, and Ella Toone were all out for the English side. Obviously, huge players for them, very well known. Our triple espresso, devastatingly so, was out as well. Trinity Rodman, Mal Swanson, and Sophia Smith were all out for us. To be expected, I think, on the U.S. side, like, we lacked connection up top. Lynn Williams, Emma Sears, and Alyssa Thompson
probably never played together ever.
Never played together. Yeah. This is probably their first time. Not a lot of connection between them 3 specifically, but then also with the rest of the team. So I think that is, to be expected. I don't think anyone was expecting any sort of like seamless attacking, flow up there. But always an opportunity for players to show out. And it didn't seem like anyone really like grabbed that opportunity by the scruff of the neck. I think the big question is like, what is the team without those 3? Obviously, we're not expecting to be without them indefinitely, but you want to be able to have depth behind them. You want to be able to interchange them. God forbid, knock on wood, any sort of injuries happen, major tournaments, whatever. There was one person I thought who really stood out up top, and that was Jasmine Ryan. She came in the second half. I thought she did really well. I actually thought in real time, the penalty that got taken away, the ref should have allowed it to continue to play. Like, if you're not, and now I don't know the rules, maybe she had to, but I'm like, the ball fell to Lindsay's feet in the box, but the ref, blew it, and then the penalty got taken away anyways. That was off a Jasmine Ryan shot.
Wait, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What would have like taken precedent? Had the ref let it play out, had Lindsay gotten it scored, Would the game would have just moved on, even if it was a handball? Like, which would have taken precedent? The handball prior, note to listener, it was not a handball, but the handball prior, or Lindsay's goal if they let it play on and reviewed on VAR?
So if they let it play on and they review on VAR and Lindsay scored, there was no handball, right? So that's why you let it play on. Now, if they had let it play on, say it hit off Alex Greenwood, falls to Lindsay, and Lindsay shoots it and it goes over for, whatever,
Wait, okay,
a goal kick, and they review it and it actually had hit the player's arm, then it comes back for a penalty. So my thing for the referee was like,
so even if it hit her arm, fell to Lindsay, and Lindsay scored.
but they already scored.
Oh, it's just that's it.
Well, yeah, because what's the point of taking a penalty when you already scored? I think that's the rule. I mean, honestly, guys, I don't know.
This is where you're so tricky. I ask you questions. It could be about soccer or like, did you pick the dry cleaning up? And you come across so confident.
No, I think it's because it's the same team.
But
now,
you actually don't know.
If
Just say, I don't know.
Well, if it accidentally hit Lindsay's hand and then she scored, yeah, you got to pull that back. But
no, you're just making it up. Are you making this up?
was this a setup?
No, I was curious.
No, I'm pretty sure it would. That's why in the moment I was like, let it go. So because it dropped to Lindsay, there's already an advantage there. If you aren't 100% sure, now I think the ref was like, I'm 100% sure.
I think we have to go to VAR on the VAR.
I think we have to go to VAR on the VAR. But anyways, that was one thing that I thought. Also missing the attack, a few players. Croy Bethune was out. I do like, she's still out from her injury. I'm thinking sort of like big picture. I do like the attacking options that we are starting to see in this team, more than just the front three. I think it's we have, arguably, maybe it's not even arguably, the most dynamic front three in the world, and they obviously delivered this summer at the Olympics. But you're getting I thought Rose Lavelle looked really good, getting in between those lines and just. She's just gonna run for days. I'm just I feel like I could take 20% of her running and maybe just still play, even just with the 20%, and she could just only have 70% and still 30, 80%.
Who gets the other 10?
You can have the other 10.
Yes.
Hey, anybody. She can just do so much running. I thought she was great. And I think the other thing that stood out in the game, which I've talked about this before, and I've been seeing the sort of combination of runs in the box and crossing and delivery. We saw, a late run by Foxy into the box. Not the runs there, not the right ball, not the right combination of all that. We've seen it with the triple espresso as well. I think if this team can get really ruthless in the box of decision making, the right types of service in the right moments, and then really hard runs, it's really simple. It's near post, penalty spot, back post. That's really all you need to do. It pulls the defense apart. If they start doing that consistently, woo, sheesh.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I want to see.
Oh, okay.
I want to see
this.
in your friendlies, since they are just friendlies, why don't you guys, if you finish regulation tied, shoot some PKs? Don't do the overtime. Don't do the whole extra 20 minutes. But why not just go right into PKs? Give the people give 80,000 Londoners what they want.
You want the drama.
Yeah. Everybody wants the drama.
But then you're giving away some of your
what?
Strategy.
But you're already giving that away when you play a game.
Honestly, I'm into it.
Okay.
I'm into it.
Well, heard it here first. Heard it here first.
The whole thing or what's
No, they could probably they can get creative with it. Maybe best of 3 or...
And then sudden death after that?
Yeah. Or sudden death from the start.
Ooh, a lot of pressure.
Whatever happened to the old school where the goalie and the player run at each other? Or is that hockey?
That was an MLS make 'em up.
Oh.
That was
I'm tuning in.
You're tuning in?
Yeah, put it right. It's number 2 under Jake Paul versus anybody in boxing. I am tuning in.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I'd like to see.
Gianni Infantino, you heard it here first.
Boom.
Sue Bird wants to see penalty kicks after any and all friendlies.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about Alyssa? It could be, assuming Alyssa plays, we'll talk about this in a second. They do have another friendly coming up. It's one of maybe 2 of the last times you're going to get to see Alyssa with the crest on her chest.
Let's see. What a consummate professional. Well, I'm a little sad that the last time she's going to play is overseas, but in typical Alyssa fashion, she sprung it on everybody and didn't do a big hoopla. I think she's, one of the greatest goalkeepers we've ever had. I think she makes an argument for being one of the best. just coming, I mean, I just can't think of like someone who has more huge moments, like penalty kicks, in-game penalties, like huge saves than Listen. She's just been like such a stalwart back there. I think she's been also just a great example of professionalism for the younger kids, you know, particularly as a lot of us retired and weren't playing, you know, in this last year. I think they've like taken to her so well. It seems like they love her so much, which is just like warms my whole heart. So congrats, Alyssa, on an unbelievably successful and incredible career. I know you're still playing the NWSL, but I'm looking forward to you having a little bit more time so we can hang out more.
So by the time this pod comes out, the U.S. women's national team will have already played the Netherlands. So that was Alyssa Naeher's final match as a member of the team. Kudos to her and congratulations.
Love you, Liz.
Support for A Touch More comes from L'Oreal Paris. As professional athletes, both Megan and I had close-ups of our sweaty, flushed, occasionally dirt-covered faces broadcasted to millions. I personally think I look pretty glowy with sweat dripping down my face, but having a skincare and makeup routine full of excellent products has allowed me to feel confident in my skin no matter its state, and no matter how close the cameras decide to be. L'Oreal Paris sent us some products to try, and I have to be honest, after re-watching some interviews in like my final season, I was noticing how I think I have droopy eyebrows. My eyebrows droop, they're thinning out. I don't know if this is an age thing. Okay. So I was really psyched that they sent me both a brow stylist definer, give me a little something, but also a brow lamination. So it's keeping those brows up. You got to train those things.
Me personally, you know, I have my blonde hair. It takes a lot of upkeep. The purple conditioner, the Everpure, sulfate-free, really just like keeps me looking poppin', keeps the yellow and the brassy out, keeps me right the whole time. So I'm excited about that. L'Oreal Paris makes products that gives you confidence to glow on and off the pitch, sweaty face or not. Send L'Oreal Paris products to those you love. You can find your new favorite L'Oreal Paris products on Amazon.com.
Vox Creative.
This is advertiser content from Google Pixel. Y'all know that Sue and I love a good bicker. I mean, we're former professional athletes. We're both, a bit competitive. Usually we have to end our bickers in a tie because we've never had a referee to decide on a winner. Until today. Thankfully, Google Pixel has a feature called Gemini Live that's great for helping you brainstorm ideas, or even in our case, help settle a debate using just your voice. Okay, Gemini.
I'm excited.
Hi, Gemini. What tortillas are better, flour or corn?
That's a tough one, since the best tortilla really depends on your taste and what you're making. Some people like the classic corn tortilla for tacos, while others prefer the softer, chewier flour tortilla for burritos. What kind of dish are you thinking about?
Well, we're thinking about making breakfast tacos for this particular time.
In that case, corn tortillas might be your best bet. They have a sturdier texture that holds up well to all those yummy breakfast fillings. Plus, they have a great corn flavor that pairs perfectly with eggs and cheese. You can warm them up in a dry skillet, or even in the oven for a minute or two, to make them extra pliable.
What do you think? I feel like it's pretty clear. I mean, it's corn, like I said, like I've been saying.
Next.
Glad we got that one solved. Thanks, Gemini, for solving that bicker of the week. Moving on. They say it's artificial intelligence, but I don't know. Sounds genuinely brilliant to me. Thank you, Gemini Live, for finally proving who is the genius of this relationship. You can learn more about Gemini Live and Pixel 9 Pro at the Google Store. For Gemini Live, sequence is shortened, results for illustrative purposes, and may vary. Check responses for accuracy. Compatible with certain features and with certain accounts. Internet connection required. Available on select devices, languages, and countries. Only available to users 18 and older. Okay, pivoting. See what I did there? Into basketball. UCLA tops the AP women's rankings. Whoa! Ish was wild. What happened? I mean, this is just like everything is all upside down.
You really felt the shakeup there.
I did. Well, I feel like honestly for the last few years it's been pretty.
No, there's been a lot of shakeups in the last few years.
I feel like the storyline's a bit. It's been like South Carolina, LSU, and Iowa. Okay, that's just what everybody's talking about. This feels different. Nobody was talking about you guys like that. I'm sorry. I know you made it there. And even when you guys do great,
Even you want to hate on us.
even when you guys do great, it's just like expected. So it's like, unless you win every year, you're not going to get any kudos. I know you guys, you set yourself up for it because you did all the winning all in a row. And for so long. But any surprise how this season's are? I guess maybe you're not surprised.
No. It is.
Break it down.
Yeah.
Me, I was shocked.
No, in the first, what you're referencing is obviously UCLA being at number 1, and then kind of some of the regulars. UConn at 2, South Carolina 3, Texas 4, so on and so forth. But then you've had a lot of shakeups in like the teams that have beaten who and then gone to lose and all that. So I think what surprised me the most is probably Notre Dame. Just having, the game that they had against USC, Southern Cal, only to go to, maybe like the Cayman Islands, I think, and drop 2 games. So that's definitely been the biggest surprise. So there's been lots of parity. Like I said, Notre Dame beats USC, then drops the next 2 to TCU and Utah. The other surprise is TCU starting unranked, which of course, I mean, that's, newspaper clipping material written all over it. They Lord. Go and they beat, we mentioned this already, I believe last week or the week before, they beat NC State. And then they also just beat Notre Dame. And you've got a Haley Van Lith resurgence, a Sedona Prince resurgence, which kind of takes me into the stars of the week that I've seen. I think those 2 have really led the way. And what you're seeing is 2 players that have a lot to prove, so very motivated, but they're also playing well together. Late in the game, it was really their fourth quarter against Notre Dame that kind of, blew things open, so to speak. It was them in a lot of pick and rolls, Haley Van Lith being really aggressive and Sedona just doing her thing. She had a 20-20 game that night. Haley had 21-7. So they've been really impressive. And if they start to see their supporting cast give what they're giving and maybe even more, I mean, they're going to be a team that's tough to play against. I also want to shout out Keomi McMiller, a guard from Rutgers. She had a monster game. It was against, I believe, Georgia Southern, so not a top 25 team, but she had 25, 11, and 6, and it was her deep 3. That was kind of exciting. She was throwing them up there from deep. Mm-hmm. And, is that the Caitlin Clark effect? We used to call it the Steph Curry effect. So keeping my eye on her.
All I have to say about all that was happening up there is UCLA being number 1 just means that more Jordan 11s in the number 1 spot. Corey Close, the head coach of UCLA, always wears Jordan 11s, and I'm always just really clapping from my chair. That means nothing to anyone other than me, but I'm excited about it. Okay, a lot of big games coming up this weekend. What are you excited about? What matchups are you excited about to watch? What are we going to be watching? I'm always like, what are we watching? So who's playing?
This week actually has a lot. December 5th, it's the SEC ACC Challenge. So there's like a slate of 6 games, I believe. The one I have my eye on for obvious reasons, Notre Dame. It's a little bit of a bounce back for them. They go against Texas. Both backcourts have something to prove. I think Notre Dame's, after that USC game, I would have talked about Hannah Hidalgo and Olivia Miles as best backcourt in the country, like from like a 1-2 perspective. And they're still very much so that good. But they'll be going against Rory Harmon, who has something to prove, coming off her ACL tear. So I have my eyeballs on that. Very quickly, December 7th is the Champions Classic. I'll be at those games. Tennessee plays Iowa. Louisville plays UConn. You can't talk about UConn without talking about Paige. You can't talk about Paige without talking about her efficiency right now. It's insane. She's shooting 62 from 2, 46 from 3, 83 from the free throw line. She always jokes. Her free throws are messing up her 50, 40, 90.
Yeah, I'm like, we need to get them free throws
really
up,
messing
girl.
her up. And then circling back to TCU on December 8th, they play South Carolina. Obviously, South Carolina is not happy with their performance at UCLA when the Bruins took them down. It's kind of like all these interesting storylines, all these interesting things. But yeah, before we move on, you already brought up UCLA and Coach Close's Jordan 11s. I'm going to bring up their team a little bit. They're in the number 1 spot, rightfully so. They've got 4 players averaging double figures. Lauren Betts leading the way, averaging a double-double. I think the thing that I like most about them is they seem very balanced, but they also seem very unselfish, and you can tell they're excited for each other. And that's like one of those tangible things you don't always have. You can have talent. Doesn't always mean you have that. Mm-hmm. It's a chemistry thing. But really, in watching them perform this year, you're seeing like a lot of joy.
They got the vibes.
Yeah, and that can take you a long way. Even in those games, in those moments, in those weeks where things aren't going great on court, that can like get you over the hump. So I'm going to keep my eyes on all those things.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the intersection. We teased this very early, well, in the show, but also in the existence of our podcast. Alona Mar, one of our faves, she finished second.
Let's go.
In Dancing with the Stars. So much fun to watch her. I was catching the clips weekly. I don't even think I fully understand how the show works with the fan voting, but I was trying. I was trying, Alona.
Nobody does.
But she was so fun to watch, just being her, like authentic self, going out there. She has such a humor about her. There's some self-deprecation, but it's also delivering a message at the same time, which I think is really powerful. And she killed it. I mean, that stuff's hard. You got to have like loose hips and limp. You'd be excellent. I'd be terrible.
Thank you, babe.
Yeah, you'd be really good.
Yeah,
we're really excited for her.
You'd need some yoga.
Yeah, we're really excited for her. And, because of Danny Amendola, there was a bunch of athletes this season on Dancing with the Stars. But because of Danny Amendola, there's been a little bit of a viral challenge. We're calling it, like I said, the leg lift. And we tried it during Thanksgiving.
Well, I definitely was today years old when I found out that is where that started. I
know.
assumed...
She thought Lynn Williams and Rose Lavelle started it.
Well,
in our notes, it says, inspired by Rose Lavelle and Lynn Williams.
Well, listen, if everybody else is going to rewrite history, I am too, okay? No, I figured it was like from TikTok or something.
It is from TikTok.
Yeah, I mean,
from Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, it gets, honestly, as with everything else that happens on the internet, got to me way late. And through a totally different source and channel that I had no idea about. But in my mind...
Am I the source and channel?
Yeah, you're the source and channel. In my mind, this is Rose Lavelle and Lynn Williams' creation.
So yeah, we gave it a go. The only success that I had was with my 9-year-old niece. But we nailed it. We got her up. I got her up.
Oh my gosh. Was just full of pride. Just so proud of her. She was scared. We talked her through it. She really wanted to do it. She's always game.
Always game. Yeah, I actually posted it. I posted it on my Instagram, so you guys can check it out.
Yeah, check it out.
The victors.
I also was very jealous because I wanted
We tried.
I wanted to be the one that could do it.
It's a weight strength. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a physics element in here. Honestly, it was hard with a 9-year-old.
I know. Our dimensions weren't right. The Rose, Lynn, strength dimension was necessary. We didn't have any of that. I'm not even sure physically, personally, I'm strong enough to do it right now. So, yeah, that's we could only do it with a 9-year-old. It was so cute.
We did accomplish that feat during Thanksgiving. Simultaneous, we put on the TV and saw Ellie the elephant, as well as some members of the New York Liberty.
What a treat!
Stewie, John Quell. Niar Sabli, Benijah, they were all there for the Thanksgiving Day parade. So it was really exciting to see them honored. But it brought me back. It brought me back,
I was
Megan.
going to ask, do you...
I do.
You love the parade?
No, I don't love the parade. But I have my own story.
Well, yeah, I know you have your own story, but I'm like, I feel like the parade for me...
I like the parade.
Maybe because I'm, from California. So we were just like...
You're on tape delay.
Yeah, we're on tape delay. It's like parade schmarade, No, I feel like it wasn't like ubiquitous in my childhood, but
I feel like growing up, we like had it on.
Okay.
And then like the balloons are a thing, or the floats, whatever the hell they're called.
Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, people will go the night before to watch them get blown up.
Pumped up.
Yeah, they're definitely a thing. It's always exciting to see. I remember one year, now I'm like, did I witness this or have I just seen this video? It's one of those moments where Barney exploded. Yeah.
Oh, God.
He blew up.
Traumatizing.
He got popped.
Oh, wow.
Barney got popped.
Stop. Gassed him up a little too much.
Yeah. Barney got popped.
What's your...
I liked Monopoly Man.
Yeah. Always a good one.
Yeah.
What's your story, though?
I was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Do tell.
Well, the year was 2004.
These are all of your stories. The year...
I know. I always feel like I'm like back in St. Olaf.
Yeah.
The year was 2004, and they did a float for Olympians that year. So it was November 2004. So it was myself, Swin Cash, Misty May was on there, a bunch of track athletes. So we're going down, all the street, doing our little waves.
How old were you?
20. I just turned 24.
Oh my God, so cute.
So I'm doing our little waves. But the best part was we were on the float with Fantasia, who had like just recently-ish won American Idol.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, pretty big deal.
I watched that.
So as Olympians, I don't know. I just remember going down the street and people being like, move, Fantasia. Who are these people? We want to see Fantasia.
Move!
No, not literally. They were very, no, not at all. They were actually like,
big star though.
everybody was super excited. We all had our medals on.
Oh, yeah.
It was a big day. And so my memory of it is being on there with Fantasia. When we finally got to like the main stage, she performed and we all just kind of stood there. I feel like we needed like some sort of choreographed
You guys didn't
dance.
have your backup dancer
No, we
moves?
literally just stood there. It's like embarrassing. We literally just stood there and she performed. And then we moved on and I was home by like, I don't know, noon or something.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, I was back on Long Island at my mom's house, well before dinner was served.
Heating
Great
up
day.
the Zorns.
Great day. Shout out Zorns. Great day.
Shout out Zorns.
Great day. It
Yeah.
was super fun though.
You loved it.
Yeah, I did.
It was that like a childhood memory come to life, like a childhood thing come to life. I feel
Kind
that
of.
way about the
It's
Olympics.
like a larger than life thing come
where
to
you're
life.
like, I can't even believe this is like real. This is my life.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I get to sit here, 20 years later and tell the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute. I love that. I love that tie-in. We did watch the video, and it'll obviously be included in the YouTube part of this.
It's LOL.
You are standing there.
I know.
You are cute, though. You got your little head in there. You hear us talk all the time on this show about the athletes that we admire, but sometimes it can go by too fast. So we wanted to take a moment to just stop and dedicate this moment to talk about our Shouts and Flowers presented by L'Oreal Paris.
Today, we want to celebrate Lindsay Whalen, who is joining the Minnesota Lynx as an assistant coach. Whalen returns to the Lynx to begin her WNBA coaching career as an assistant. She previously spent 5 seasons at her alma mater, serving as head coach of the University of Minnesota's women's basketball program. Whalen was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2022 and the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2023. Whalen's accolades include earning 4 WNBA championships, 2011, 13, 15, and 17 with Minnesota, 5 All-Star nods, and 5 All-WNBA selections. Lindsay Whalen, a.k.a. Way, a.k.a. Weezy F, a.k.a. Weezy F Baby.
A.K.A. Gentry.
Yeah, a.k.a. Gentry. Pasta lunch.
out.
Pasta lunch. If you know, you know. Honestly, one of my favorite teammates. The only accolade we didn't get to was her being in the Olympics. We played in 2 Olympics together. And you're point guard. You got point guard rules.
Yeah.
You got point guard rules, point guard love. She's somebody that throughout my career pushed me. I think both of us were setting the point guard bar for a really long time, and we kind of had each other. It was very competitive in the WNBA when we went against each other, but being on the national team and being teammates was super dope. Getting to know her family, so much fun. So incredibly excited that she's back in the WNBA. I know she's going to be blessing those Lynx every day. She's just fun. She's just like one of those teammates.
Good personality.
Like good vibes.
Yeah.
Every day comes in. She's dry, which I love. Like I love that humor. So I'm really excited for Lindsay. Way, you know how I feel, homie. Good luck this year.
Yeah, big get for the W. Congrats, Way. Really excited. Big get. This is just fun too. She has such a fun personality. So like the spirit,
Well, she
the
also
energy,
is just like a baller.
all of it's just like a vibe. Yeah, and it's like one of the best players that's ever played in the WNBA. So it's like, this is great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Support for A Touch More comes from L'Oreal Paris. If you're looking for holiday gift ideas that'll really make your friend's face glow with joy, with excitement, you name it, L'Oreal Paris has exactly what you need. Gift the athlete in your life the L'Oreal Paris Infallible 3-Second Setting Mist to help set their makeup even on the sweatiest of days. Or for the friend who lives under constant cloud cover and rainy days. I'm that friend, thank you, Seattle. The Lumi Glotion is the perfect gift. It can be used as a primer, highlighter, or a bronzing drop. It's an all-in-one choice to get that natural sun-kissed glow even when the sun is nowhere to be found. There's also the Bright Reveal Dark Spot Exfoliant Peel, your professional peel in a bottle which fades post-acne marks, smooths skin tone and texture, and brightens. Or the Revitalift Triple Power Moisturizer designed to reduce wrinkles and firm and brighten your skin in just 1 week. So no matter who you're gifting this holiday season, you can give the gift of confidence with any of L'Oreal's innovative skincare products. Because you're worth it, and they're worth it.
All right, everybody, the moment you've been waiting for. Are you a Megan or are you a Sue? This one comes down to bread.
Yeah.
Fair? How do I
Very.
want to set this up? So basically how the story goes is we went to my sister's for Thanksgiving and we knew we'd be taking leftovers home.
Yeah.
And so Megan was doing a quick grocery store run because, as I mentioned, she had to get the charcutes up and running.
Oh, yeah.
And on her,
I am the resident grocery store goer in our family.
you love it.
I love
I just let you do what you love.
going to the grocery store. You hate it. I love it. It's perfect synergy.
Boom. So I shot her a quick text, realizing like, oh, we're going to have leftovers. We're going to want to make sandwiches. And I said, hey, can you get some bread for sandwiches? And she said, sure. And I was like, maybe those like Pillsbury biscuits. And she wrote back, maybe Hawaiian sweet rolls. And I said, get both. So actually the bicker in here is that she did not get both. She only got the Hawaiian sweet rolls. But the are you a Megan or are you a Sue comes down to, for leftovers, do you want Hawaiian sweet rolls or do you want a biscuit? I just want to go on record saying I want both.
Can I ask?
But you don't want biscuits. You
I don't
hate
want
biscuits.
biscuits.
She's so anti-biscuit.
It's so much.
But the Pillsbury ones, will you bang it?
It's too thick. It's
You're
too
so
much.
picky about your food. I bet people don't realize how picky you are about your food and how you always leave one bite. She can never just like finish the meal.
Okay. Well, I feel like this turned into a bicker, not an are you a Megan or are you a Sue?
Okay, bring it back. Bring it back.
Okay. The one caveat to, or the, I guess the adding on to the story is that I was at Brooklyn Fair in Greenwich Village. If you've ever been in there, there's no service. So I went in with a list of a few things.
I'm going to go there immediately after this to check my self-service.
Swear,
No, I'm
I
joking.
swear on God. So there's no service in there. You can only get service literally like where the carts are at the very front and it's spotty at best. So I'd already checked out and gotten all the groceries. And then you said the rolls. Normally, if it was something that I didn't want, I would have been like, ooh, I already left. But I wanted the rolls. So I was like, good call because
Good luck ever doing that again. Now I know.
yeah, I know. So I had already gone back in. And then it was just like I got some other bread for our breakfast. And then I saw the Hawaiian rolls. and
No,
I
it was
was
a great get.
Oh, those are the best ones. They're thin. You can smash
No,
them
they're
down.
great for leftovers.
They're a
for sure.
little, you need a little bit of sweet with the turkey and the gravy and the stuffing.
On the mashed potatoes.
And then I
on
was
the
just
sweet
like,
potatoes.
where even are the biscuits? And like,
In the frozen section.
yeah, see, so I was
The
just like,
freezer
honestly,
section.
and you kind of were like, yeah, you gave me the kind of go ahead on the Hawaiians.
You said I'll get both.
Did I?
Yeah.
Okay, but then I didn't. And I didn't.
No,
I
you know
didn't
what?
want to go
I retract
rummaging around
my statement.
again.
I think I said just get both. And that's when you went, I already checked out. No, I'm joking.
And then also we were on a time crunch. We had to leave by a certain time.
Yeah.
And I was already behind the 8 ball on things.
Mm.
And so, anyways, long story short.
Long story short,
I'm a Hawaiian rolls full stop.
are you Hawaiian rolls for Thanksgiving leftovers or are you a biscuit?
1000%.
There you have it. I think this did bring up something really interesting though, which is should we normalize the sandwich on Thanksgiving Day?
Maybe even just in place of
I think
the
people do
meal as
that.
it
I don't
is.
think that's like I think people do that.
It is by far the best way to eat all of those things.
I agree.
I think that should just be like the main thing. It should just turn into a big sandwich party.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys can let us know. You can leave us a message at 1-833-A-TOUCH-8 or leave us a comment on YouTube. Tell us what you think. And also throw in there, like, how long can you eat leftovers for? Is there like a shelf life in
How
there?
long does it last?
I feel like turkey goes bad quick.
What about stuffing?
That's probably fine.
I think
don't
it's
know.
fine. We're gonna have it for dinner, so hopefully it's fine.
Just a touch more, a little bit. Just a touch more.
Yeah.
All right. Leaving you all with a touch more. Boss Nation is accepting new name ideas. What do you think? You got anything for them? Is that free labor?
Well, maybe, but I mean, it's welcomed because that's a terrible name and their whole rollout was terrible and they had to do something. Honestly, good marketing from a really bad marketing move. Good marketing move to be like, you know what? We messed up. We're going to scrap the whole thing. I actually think this is a good opportunity to like curry a little favor with the local fan base and with everyone, and actually to like get to a better product and a better name, which they need. So I'm here for it. You're not getting any of my names, consulting fee attached to that, but just kidding. Boston FC would be fine. But I like it. I'm into it. It's just like, hey, we really botched it, so let's just do a quick redo. I'm into it. The Unrivaled rosters are revealed. Sue, give us your thoughts.
I'm going to hold on to my thoughts until those 2 wildcard spots are filled. Unrivaled, for those that don't know, is starting out with 30 players. They extended to 36. It was a combination, from what I've seen on the interwebs, it was a combination of having more like financial backing, so now they can extend it, and also a certain player named Alyssa Thomas wanted in.
Okay.
So they extended that a little bit, added some other players, and now there's still 2 wild card roster spots to be filled. So I'm gonna hold out. And also there might be 3 because Kelsey Plum, as we saw on social media, decided to tap out. She just wants to focus on herself this offseason, big offseason for her. She's unrestricted free agent, I believe. So yeah, Plum's doing her.
Who do you want to see in the 3 spots?
I don't know.
Come on.
I'd have to like review it.
Obviously, the one that everyone's thinking about would be Caitlin.
Well, no, she already said no.
Oh, she already said no.
Yeah. Oh, this is me, your news feed telling you.
Well,
2 weeks ago.
How does anybody even find information
A
out
week or so
anymore?
ago, she said no.
Okay, well,
So I don't know.
all right.
I really have no idea. I don't know who's overseas, who's not. all
Should
the
we
things.
throw in some NARPs?
You?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we throw in me?
Only if you have 70% of Roosevelt's speed. And then I don't know where
Perfect.
the other 20 goes.
I'm going to talk to her about that.
Okay.
The 2024 NWSL Championship game, presented by Google Pixel, averaged 967,000 viewers. This was the most viewed final in league history, the most viewed match, obviously, in league history. Really exciting. It felt big on the ground, as we talked about last week, but it was great, and that's great to see the numbers reflect that as well. In a little bit surprising, but maybe actually not so much, the CBS coverage of the Skills Challenge, presented by CarMax, which aired on Sunday afternoon, marked the most viewed NWSL event in history with an average of 1.5 million viewers. The Skills Challenge was the most viewed non-NFL sporting event of that day. Take us through this. Because this is a little not confusing, but...
No, not confusing at all. When you give events, and in this case, a women's sporting event, primetime slots on a primetime network, it's going to draw. It's going to be set up for success. And really, the point isn't to compare the Skills Challenge and the window to the game and it's just to say, if you give it those time slots, it is going to be set up for success. And that is our point when we've been saying or lamenting over the fact how we never get those time slots. Not to steal your factoid, but you did bring up how the NCAA tournament for women has been on ESPN instead of ABC. We have never been allowed to fully shine in the time slots that allow for fully shining.
No, it's true. I mean, we've talked about this obviously a lot on the show. We've talked about this for literally our whole careers, but this is a great example of the ways in which women's sports have been held back in so many ways. So putting a game on ESPN, even if it's a primetime ESPN spot, is different than a primetime ABC spot. Putting a game on a Sunday where maybe viewers were watching an NFL game and then they stayed and watched this really fun skills challenge event and then they continued watching an NFL game is different than a different slot.
It helps something grow.
It helps something grow. You get eyeballs on sports where the eyeballs are already there watching. So this is just another example. We thought it was, when we first saw it, we were like, wait, what? And then we're like, okay, this makes total sense. So we just wanted to share that with the viewers. I can't imagine more people like specifically tuned in just to watch the skills challenge over the game. That doesn't really make any sense.
Another note is, a soccer game it's like a 2-hour window that they have to book. And the skills challenge was only 30 minutes, which means that's all they had on Sunday. But that's also the point, is if you created a 2-hour window for the NWSL final on that Sunday, you'd probably get more viewership, which would drive business and,
Yeah.
If this happened 10, 15, 20 years ago, we'd be in a different seat than we are now even. So
Yeah. But
there's
anyways, great news overall. Huge numbers for the NWSL in both the game and the skills challenge. And the final was a smashing success this year. So
it was.
Excited to see that.
All right, before we go, don't forget this Friday is the Valkyries expansion draft. Very excited for that.
I'm really excited.
90% sure all the teams have had to turn in their protected player lists, which won't become public, but it's it's locked. They're probably working on that over in the Bay Area as we speak. They also kick off their WNBA season on opening day, which is May 16th, because the WNBA schedule has dropped. So you can go check that out. I did notice on May 17th, which I'm sure is like a primetime. Speaking of primetime spots and slots, the Indiana Fever take on the Chicago Sky. So that would probably be like, if I had to guess, like the big ABC game. Yeah. So definitely check that out. I am sick, so I just want to say that I just completed my flu game. I feel really good about it.
Good job,
Woo,
Sue.
that was hard.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Hit him with the close.
Okay. That's it for this episode. We will see you next week. Thank you to L'Oréal Paris for supporting A Touch More. The best gift you can give to a loved one is a reminder of their own worth. L'Oréal Paris has been reminding women that they're worth it for decades. This holiday season is your chance to share the message by gifting your favorite L'Oréal Paris products to the people in your life. Whether it's a Revitalift Triple Power Moisturizer to firm and brighten, or Lumi Glotion for the perfect sun-kissed glow in the middle of winter, now you can give the gift of confidence. Send L'Oréal Paris products to those you love. You can find your new favorite L'Oréal Paris products on Amazon.com.